Hello, and welcome to this 3D modeling tutorial. In this video, I'll be taking you step by step through the process of creating this fun animation. Whether you're completely new to Blender or looking to brush up on your skills, there'll be something new for you in this video. Let's get started. Alright, I've got Blender open. I'm going to go ahead and hit A to select everything and X to delete. And I'm going to start by switching over my render settings right away to cycles. And I have a GPU, so I'll be rendering with my GPU. As well as my output location. Now I'll start by adding geometry. I'm going to Shift A to add a curve. And I'll add the default Bezier curve. You can see it's placed it there. And right away, I'm going to add a modifier, the screw modifier. It starts with it flat, but as soon as we add an elevation, it begins to screw that object. And as we add more iterations, it'll stack on top of itself. I'll add 3 iterations. Have my screw at 4 meters. So I won't apply my modifier yet. I'm going to go down to my curve and tab into edit mode. I want to add a lip or an edge onto the end outside of my spiral. So I'll select my vertex and E to extrude, R to rotate that vertex. We've got a nice edge to our screw. We can't apply our screw modifier yet because we need to transform our curve into a mesh. So I'll right click on the object, convert to mesh. And you can see that my modifier is now already applied. I want to make this thicker, so I'm going to add a solidify modifier. Put my offset at 0. Going to apply my solidify modifier. Now for our second piece of geometry, I'll Shift A to add a mesh and choose UV sphere. So if I hit 1 to snap to the front orthographic view, and G, I'll move my sphere up. S to scale it down, and I'll apply a modifier, the subdivision surface modifier. Right click to shade smooth. Now we're ready to apply physics to our objects. So we can select our first object, go to physics properties, and rigid body. This will be a passive rigid body, and we want the shape to be the mesh. And bring down our collision margin to 0. Now for rigid body physics, on the UV sphere, this will be an active object. I might take it up to 2 kg. And the shape of this sphere. I want this object to roll down the surface, so I'll set the maximum friction and maybe slight bouncy. Now to begin to simulate our model, we can go to Scene Properties, Rigid Body World. I'm going to increase to 50 and to 20 my substeps and my solver iterations to make that simulation more accurate. And I'll only simulate 0 to 100. I'm also going to change here on my animation timeline 0 to 100. I might bump my speed up to 1.5 and select bake. So it's already done. If I were to drag through our timeline, we can see our ball, our UV sphere, rolling down the track like a marble. Now to render this, I'm first going to add a camera to the scene. Shift A to add camera. I'll move it up here with G. In my view over here, if I hit N on the keyboard, I can open up my additional options. I'll go to View and Camera to View. Now we'll hit 0 on the number pad, and we're looking through the camera and controlling the location of the camera at the same time. To my camera properties, change my frame rate. I like the location of my camera here, so I'll uncheck camera to view and hit 0 on the number pad. So I want to select my camera and go over to these camera properties. I want to increase the focal length of my view. There we go, I like that location. So we currently don't have any light in our scene. We want to shift A to add a light, and I'm going to add a spotlight. G to grab, and R to rotate. We select that light, we can adjust the light power. I'll take it up to 30,000 right now. There we can see our scene is now lit. Maybe let's bring it down to 20,000. I'm going to shift D to duplicate my light and place it over here. Now we can set up our materials. So I think I want my spiral to be a glass material. I'll use the default glass, BSDF, and just change the color slightly so it's blue. And decrease the roughness. Ever slightly increase the IQR. I'm going to change my glass properties to multi-scatter. Then there's material for my sphere. I'm going to default emission. Increase the strength on that emission. Let's add a background to our scene. Shift A to add a cube. I'm going to scale my cube up. Go into edit mode or press tab. 3 on the number pad. Delete my face, delete the face, delete the face. I want to add a material. Bevel modifier to my cube. Is the amount and number of segments. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. I have plenty of other videos covering a variety of topics, so be sure to check out my channel. See you in the next one.